Debate 4 is come and gone, and as we gear up for the matchup in Georgia next month, we want to discuss how the media handled the coverage.
And also, did several media outlets attribute statements made by Senator Bernie Sanders to Senator Elizabeth Warren? The fact is, yes, they did. We'll talk about that, too. Joining us via Skype to discuss all this and more is Katie Halper, host of The Katie Halper Show and co-host of Useful Idiots, a wonderful Rolling Stone podcast. Great to see you, lady.
Thanks, you guys too.
So first of all, I mean, what were your thoughts on the debate? And then, you know, this is our media-focused segment. How did you think that the media did in their coverage?
I mean, I always say this is like a refrain from 2016 on, which is that I couldn't believe ABC, XYZ, but I should believe it because it's just naive not to. So it was pretty incredible, I thought, how much the media seemed to love the two least appealing people, I think, on the stage for me, Klobuchar and Buttigieg, and really attack Warren. And, you know, my guy, who you guys probably can tell, is Bernie, but I also respect Warren. And I thought the attacks on her were, a lot of them were unfair, but also I thought she did a good job holding her own. And so I thought it was kind of weird to see the media present her as having really failed on the debate stage. I thought Buttigieg came off as like a really, twerpy know-it-all. And whenever I hear Klobuchar speak, I can't help but think about her throwing a stapler at her staff.
Right. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Katie. Crystal actually played a clip earlier about how Van Jones on CNN called Pete Buttigieg Pistol Pete. And he wanted to see more from Pistol Pete, who was firing truth bombs or bullets, I guess, or whatever at Elizabeth Warren.
It was Van would be anti-violence and anti-pistol.
Right. Yeah.
In that case, I agree with that.
Say nothing for the criminal justice aspects.
Right.
It's just it's like what? Like, and I think you're right, which is that they really love like these people who are obsessed with fake fact checks love fake fact checks in real time.
Yeah.
Right? You know, that's really what it is. Like, oh, he like slams her with the truth about the taxes, and meanwhile people are like, I just want health care.
Right. I want health care. By the way, like that same argument that he made has been made by John Delaney. It's been previously made by Pete. It's been made by Amy Klobuchar. It's been made by every debate moderator in every debate.
Right.
So but this time it landed.
I know why. And also, isn't he the one who made that really corny point about like, this is why people don't like our show, debates that we throw, what is it? It's like a food fight. We attack each other. It's like the one person he attacks is Warren. On something he knows a lot about.
He went after Beto too, which I couldn't tell you.
Thank you,
right?
CNN.
And Bernie. He always And I think he should disclose that he wrote a high school essay. I don't remember if I brought this up before, but he wrote like a JFK honor award-winning essay about how great Bernie Sanders was when he was in high school. And I wish that Pete were more present.
Yeah, it's actually funny. That is funny. That was actually his rise to political prominence. Generally, too. I mean, it's funny, like because Crystal and I were doing our own debate coverage. You don't really you don't see what people were saying until afterwards, and you see like Chris Cillizza was like, oh my gosh, Buttigieg just knocked it out of the park. The Buttigieg resurgence. If you read the media, you think it's real. I mean, like I don't know where it's coming from. It's baffling.
Well, to be fair, and I think we've talked about Chris in every segment we've done so far, which is appropriate because his media behavior is so egregious. But, to be fair, he already established that he has absolutely no credibility when it comes to Buttigieg because he said a couple weeks ago, he said that he thought he was the most likely to beat Trump after Warren and Biden. And again, it's like that in that game that they play called Hide the Bernie Sanders, where they just pretend he doesn't exist and isn't way ahead of Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah, it's
and
very,
he's come up as such an annoying twerp. Didn't he come up as? I mean, he came up as such a like teacher's pet, stuck up, and like I don't know.
That's what he is.
It was also just so patently obvious of like, okay, I'm not doing that well, so I'm going to do something totally different in this debate. I'm going to be Pistol Pete this time around. And the media, they see that Biden isn't doing well. They want a moderate in the race that they can prop up as successful, and he seems like the next most logical choice. At the same time, speaking of the hide the Bernie game, You were tweeting about this. There were a number, it wasn't just one, there were a number of media outlets who took this great quote from Bernie Sanders about healthcare from the debate and just gave it to Elizabeth Warren and attributed it to her. Is this?
You can't make it up.
I mean, it's amazing. And again, it was multiple outlets. I assume because one person wrote it and then everybody else just copied it.
I think that's probably what happened. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
But,
I mean, it reminds me of the Jerk. Remember, you guys saw the movie The Jerk with Steve Martin, where he opens with like, "I was born a poor black child."
Oh yeah.
It's like something that's so clearly doesn't belong to that person. Like, you know, they might as well quote her saying, like, you know, when I was growing up in Brooklyn to a working class family, you know, Holocaust survivor parents or whatever, you know, dad's family survived the Holocaust. But yeah, it was, I mean, it's almost like it's almost too perfect. And then I don't think did they do a correction or a retraction?
It took a while. I mean, that's what it always is look, nobody consciously was like, let's put this, you know, but it's the fact, it's the unconscious bias. I think it reveals, and that they don't really care, right? Like, can you imagine if this happened to anyone? People would freak out. Like, they don't care.
Yeah.
They just don't care.
If they cared, they'd make a much bigger deal about it, right? I mean, it wouldn't happen as much in the first place, but they definitely make a bigger deal about it. And I thought Bernie did great. I was really happy that he looked so Bernie-like. I think it maybe helped him that he had a hoarse throat last time, because now he was like on the up. He sounded better than he did in the one before.
Yeah, I thought he had a very strong night. I mean, while we have you, this segment's going to air over the weekend. AOC's endorsing Bernie in that big rally in Queens. How significant do you think that is?
Well, by the way, I love your segment on it, class power, not girl power. I think
you really inspired me on that one too. You had some great tweets there as well.
I think it's really significant, and I think it gives us a chance to finally kind of explain something that should be obvious, but the difference between, I mean, because AOC has talked a lot about representation and identity politics, and which is important. So it's really great to see how part of identity politics refers to the policies, right? It's not just the representation of a person from an underrepresented group. It's also about how your policies will affect these less powerful groups or disenfranchised, marginalized groups. So I think it's a really great moment. Of course, I think it's a great moment because it shows courage, and the fact that she did it while he was in the hospital, you know, shows a real confidence in him. He is, Victoria Dooley, a doctor who's also a Bernie surrogate, calls him Energizer Bernie, like Energizer Bunny. He does seem to be really, you know, he's just like, you know, nothing stops him. But anyway, I think it's a really significant moment, and it gives us the chance to say, look, these policies that are about economics are also policies that are about class and gender. Which is something people still somehow don't get. I mean, they get it when it's someone like Sarah Palin. They get how if it's a Sarah Palin, she's not good for women, right? Because it's such an extreme difference. But I think that when it's Bernie and Warren, I think that they're like, oh, they're so similar, so clearly go for the woman. And I've always said, you know, all things being equal, I would, you know, love to support a woman. And I respect Warren, but I think that Bernie's policies, you know, as you've explained a lot, Crystal, class policies affect gender, they affect
everybody.
Race.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. And you can't separate them. So I think it's a great moment. And I love seeing white feminists, which is a thing. It's not just white people who are feminists, but white feminists.
It's a particular kind of thing.
Lose their mind. Yeah.
They were very confused. They just could not wrap their head around why she would possibly make this choice. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Katie, thank you so much.
Katie.
Great to see you as always.
Great.
We'll have more after this.